Hi guys, it's B. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so rusty, I haven't made a video for ages. I thought I would start with the most simple video, which is like a collective haul of some nice things that I've got in the last few months, and I would just share them with you, and then any more detail would be like in reviews that you request or whatever in future. I'll try to keep the discussion around each thing sort of short and sweet. There is a handbag, which is the most recent thing, and an SLG, but I will just show them briefly because it's going to get its own video and its own story time. So let's dive in and we'll do it chronologically. So the first thing that I got, going back, I can't even remember now, I think I got this in like around the time of the Jubilee, so like around the beginning of June, end of May, because I remember the Jubilee weekend going to pick it up, and that is my new Rolex. I don't know if I've shown that on this channel. Maybe I have. I can't remember. So this is an Oyster Perpetual, simple one, which I'm really pleased with. It doesn't have a bubble for the day or the date, and it's quite different to my like previous watch. So if you remember, I misplaced, lost, or was robbed of my previous Rolex around Christmas 2021. And I said to you then, I wanted to give myself time to continue to search. You know, you hear about these things mysteriously reappearing or being in the really weird place. So I wanted to give myself time to find it. And also, after we accepted that we were probably never going to find it again, I wanted to give myself time to be really sure about what I wanted. I tried on different watches from different brands. In the end, it was a toss-up between a Cartier, either a tank or a Bleu de Ballon round watch, but ultimately I felt like the ones that I tried, the people even in Cartier that were advising me were like, this is a dress watch, the metal's a little bit softer, it can scratch if it's something you want to use as your daily timepiece. That really put me off. I wanted to go back to Rolex, and I was really sad about the possible up to 2-year wait because there's a shortage now. I just got lucky. It was obviously meant to be. I saw this in the catalogue, and although it's really plain, and some friends have been a bit like, oh, it's a bit boring, it's a bit plain, I just react to things, and it jumped off the page at me, even though it is so plain. I think because of what happened before. My watch didn't have diamonds on it. It wasn't particularly busy, but it was pretty. It had the Jubilee strap, which is very obvious to people as a Rolex thing, including thieves. And it had the fluted bezel, which is the other very distinctive feature, I think, of most Rolexes. So this has got the oyster strap, which is really simple, and it's got the smooth bezel. It has just got like a sort of, it's really hard, the light's really bouncing off it, stainless steel face, but if you see the hands and the numerals are gold, and that gives it a bit more interest, and I just really love two-tone things like that. So I went for this one. It was half the price or value of my watch that disappeared. I was worried about spending a lot on a watch in case it happened again. I've lost my confidence around looking after my expensive things, and I've really been using them less because I'm like, I'm so scared to wear my Cartier Jean Clou bracelet now because I keep thinking, what if I look down and it's not on my wrist? It just made me feel like, oh, I should just have cheap and cheerful things because then I can just be carefree. So yeah, I waited a long time, and then I went and asked about this watch at a local branch of Goldsmiths, and he said that one, although it's quite a new thing and or various things, why there are other styles that are more popular, especially with younger people at the moment. They like more of the gold or the mixed, and they like the diamonds and the different, like, more features on it. He said these come in a bit quicker, so you're looking at 12 to 18 months, whereas some styles you're looking at 2 to 3 years wait because the waiting lists are really long. But literally I got this in 8-9 weeks. They just phoned me and said there were 2 or 3 people in front of me at that branch, and when they get allocated watches, they just get what they get, and then they call people who have registered interest. And what he did say is there were 3 people in front of me, but they didn't get one of these in for like 9 or 10 months. So by that time, often people have either given up and bought something else from a different brand, or got a Rolex from somewhere else. They might have traveled and bought one abroad, whatever, because different suppliers get different stock, whatever. So it was obviously just meant to be that it was just available. I love it. The only downside, I love how simple it is. I love that it doesn't have the bubble because I never wanted the date or anything on there really. I just didn't ever feel I needed that. The only thing is that because it's got more flat, smooth surfaces, like the sections on the bracelet are bigger and the smooth bezel, I've already got some pretty dodgy scratches on it, and you just have to be really careful because it scratches pretty easily. I'm a bit shocked at how easily this bracelet is scratched, but there's aftercare. You can, there's no point now when it's brand new, but if it gets pretty bad, you can go and get it, what's the right word, serviced or just polished or whatever. The other thing I love about this watch, especially because my weight fluctuates, and also more importantly, like I like to wear my Cartier bracelet on this side, and I'm hoping to get another one soon so that I've got like a pair. This wrist, because it's my dominant hand, is 0.5 centimeter bigger than this wrist. So there's this easy link system inside here where you can have like a 0.5 centimeter or 6 millimeter variation, and it's quite easy to do. So if I wear it on this side, I have it on the tightest setting, and if I wear it on this side, I loosen it off. So that's really good. I've really enjoyed having it, and it makes me really appreciative to have it. I'm glad I had to wait a little bit. I waited a few months to decide what I really wanted, but I was quite shocked when they phoned me because, you know, it's a lot of money, and you were like, I had to phone my husband at work and be like, I've got 24 hours to decide whether I take this watch or not, and he said go for it because you've been really sad about your other watch. I am more careful with this because of that, the scratching issue, and because of what happened. So I have also very recently, I haven't brought it over here for this video, but I've bought myself an Apple Watch because my old Apple Watch will not update on software anymore. It's from like, I'm trying to think, at least 4 or 5 years. So I got a new one, and also that's helping with a fitness app that I'm using, which needs to track my data. So when I'm doing ultra casual things, or I'm out in the garden, or I'm, you know, on a day trip with the kids and I'm outdoors and stuff, I wear that. And I basically just wear this, not for special occasions, but where I'm not going to be like doing any housework. I wouldn't wear this to do the housework, whereas I would have worn my other one. But because of the scratching issue, I'm just trying to keep it really nice because it's new and it's still, yeah. Okay, the next thing I got, I went to London to stay with my friend Sally, and I wanted to get a pair of designer shades because I have not bought designer shades for probably 5 years, not since Cece was a toddler. I bought some brown Chanel ones. I don't even know where they are. I don't think I have them anymore, but I didn't sell them, so I don't know where they are. And I have real trouble finding shades where I love the fit. My favorite shades are the Key Australia, what are they called, high keys or whatever, the big aviators. I love those because I've never found an aviator that fits my face. Those are massive, and more importantly, the lenses sit far away, they don't press on my cheeks. So I have those in like 3 finishes, and I love them. But you can't put them up on your hair because they get all tangled because they're metal. Then I love Ray-Ban Wayfarers, and I like specifically the black matte ones, and me and my husband both have a pair of those. And I just felt like, I know there are some girls on here and guys who reveal shades all the time, and they have a real thing about shades. For me, I love shades, but I don't keep them on my face. I take them off and on, and I'm not someone who can wear shades all day. They drive me nuts, especially these, because they sit a bit heavy on here. But I just really felt like I would like to have a bougie pair. So if I was dressed up nice and I was going out for lunch or going out for drinks early evening, and the sun was low and I wanted to, you know, I just wanted a nice pair, and it felt like such a long time. So I went to Liberty's with my friend, and I tried on so many, and I was just about to give up or buy a pair that I was like, they're all right. And then I saw these Celine ones, and I have had a bit of a crush on the brand Celine for a while now. I've been looking at the bags. So I can't remember the name of these, but I think I might have shown them in another video. I might be doubling up a bit, and I think I've linked them. Or I will link them if I can find them again. They are tortoiseshell. I definitely didn't want a black pair because, as I said, I wear my Ray-Bans a lot. What I liked about these is, yeah, my cheeks do not hit them. They are wide here, which balances out my face. They're comfortable on the bridge. I like the colour of the lens to look out. It's more of a brown. And I think that they genuinely flatter my face, whereas I would say 90% of designer shades don't flatter my face. None of the Chanel ones were just big enough on the kind of lens size to really work for me. I really love these. They're slightly cat eye, but they're not like the Audreys, or is it the Audreys? They're just different, and they have more depth to the lens, yet they still don't hit my cheeks here. So I don't know what you think, but I really like them. I love them with my hair up in like a messy bun. So there are those, and they are really comfortable. Also, you're meant to wear shades pushed all the way back, and I don't mind them that way, whereas I usually hate that, but I do tend to normally pull my shades down a bit. But yeah, there are those. I know Claire Chanel, who I'm a real fan of, bought these in like 2 or 3 colours. I think they're new this year, but they're really lovely, and they're really nicely weighted and balanced. But I do find if it's really hot, they are chunky, then they do leave marks here. But I just rest them on the top of my head for like 5 minutes and then wear them again, and it's fine. Celine. Right, okay, the next things I got were the 2 pairs of high-end or designer, whatever the word is, jewellery. One is from Tiffany, and they were a gift from my husband. I've been really obsessed with getting some different styles of pearls to wear, and I love pearls earrings more than anything else. So he got me these. They were a surprise on my birthday, and they are little sterling silver little studs with some chain and then a pearl at the bottom. So they're real pearls and they're real silver, and I love a long dangly earring. However, some that you pick up and try are heavy, or they swing around too much. There was some Louis Vuitton ones I really liked that were like the V stud, like the ones I have, and then some sort of fringed chain at the back. And I ordered them. I didn't put them in my ear because you're not supposed to, but I held them up and like did that, and they were just like swinging around and almost getting tangled up, and I just was like, oh, I would feel them too much, whereas these I can hardly feel them, and they're very delicate, and I have a big round face, but somehow a longer earring is just really flattering and like elongates your face. And I wear these for like dinner and things. I don't just wear them, you know, generally in the day. They're quite dressy, but I absolutely love them. I have some old Links of London earrings that are very similar to this. They're silver and they've got an amethyst at the top, and I just wanted a simple kind of pearl pair. I saw them and I put them on my Tiffany wish list, and Ed knows how to log into that, and that's how he knew that I would like them. But that was years ago, so he just went and looked at what was on my wish list, and he said actually that he picked these because nearly everything that I'd put on my Tiffany wish list was out of stock online. It's the same as everything everywhere. There's not a lot of stock or inventory about. What did we get next? Okay, these were my birthday present to myself from Dior. I'm obsessed with the Lady Dior at the minute. Watch this space. Not maybe right now because I just bought a bag, but yeah, I've got a hankering for a Lady Dior, but I'm very specific on what I want. Anyway, I've had these before. I gave them away to a subscriber or Instagram follower, I can't remember which, because I'd had them for about 5 or 6 years, so I'm happy, I'm not complaining, I got my wear out of them, and they kind of turned and went a much darker, more yellowy colour than they used to be, so you can probably tell what they are. But I had 2 different colours, and I really missed them, and I got the tribal earrings again, but the really just simple plain pearl ones. They are a very yellow or slightly golden toned pearl. The first pair I ordered came, and they were much more yellow than this, as if they had been stored incorrectly or something. Alarmingly yellow. I showed it on my Instagram. And also on the surface of the pearl, of the big pearl at the front, on one of them, there were like marks, not scratches, but marks that I couldn't buff out with a soft cloth, and glue residue that I couldn't just rub off with my finger. I would have had to do something more aggressive, and then the risk is on me. I would damage the earrings, so I sent them back and they replaced them. If you buy a pair of these now, please remember that they are not the same color they used to be. If you look on the website, they show up as a really crisp, clean white pearl like the Tiffany ones I just showed you. They're not. They're much more richly colored, which at first really put me off because I like white or ivory near my face, bags, tops, stuff like that, because I think it really like makes my face look brighter and more youthful. And I was worried that these didn't suit me, but I showed them to Ed and he said, no, for winter, when they look quite warm and that's quite nice. So there you go. They're really classic. I tell you what, they're a lot more expensive than they were when I bought my other pair, but that was years ago. I think they were about three, I'm not sure. I think they were about 350, but I'm really happy to have them back. And one of the reasons I really like these, a lot of people find them uncomfortable or heavy. I don't find them too uncomfortable or heavy. I think after like an 8-hour day, you're pretty keen to take them off, but for going out in the evening or something, definitely not a problem. But I wouldn't sleep in them or anything like that. The great thing about these in winter in particular is that they are completely smooth front and back, so they're great for wearing with your, like, you know, we all talk about the Louis Vuitton shawls and how they snag and catch on jewellery. So if I'm going to wear like my Stephen Sprouse leopard stole or one of my other ones, because I still love those even though they're not really as in fashion now, these are the perfect earrings. No necklace, you cannot get away with wearing necklaces with those shawls, and it's never going to snag your scarves. Okay, next I got this a few weeks ago, and I had so many people on Instagram like so keen and so wanting to know what color it was and what size it was and everything. So this is just a standard Les Pliages from Longchamp in the color Cypress. It's one of the new autumn colors. It's the most lovely soft green, but it's quite autumnal and neutral. This is a silk scarf. They didn't have one of the thin twilly ones, which is a shame. It's quite difficult to do a square as a handle wrap. I have done it, but it looked a bit bulky and it is more likely to want to unravel. So for now, I've just done a bow on here. I feel like with such a simple functional bag, if they have a matching accessory, I always say go for it, whether it's like an initial or a silk scarf or a key ring. It just makes it more you and more individual. And this is the small, guys. So this is a leather Longchamp Le Pliage Cure, a leather one. And I swear that originally the small handheld standard Le Pliage, I've had them. I had a pink one that was custom, like a custom order thing. I had a navy blue one. They used to be like this small, but now the small is like this. So that is a substantial day bag. It is, hang on a sec. I was just comparing. It's about the same size, if not a tiny bit bigger, as a mini zipped Bayswater from Mulberry, slightly taller. So for me, and I know we're all different, this is a great everyday bag. I can fit either or both. I could fit a paperback novel, I could fit a water bottle, sunscreen, my SLGs, my sunglasses, and it's fine. I will talk about this more in future, but I have really let go of bags having to have all these different carry options. I've got behind me here quite a big collection of bags now. Some of them are crossbody, some of them are shoulder bags, some of them are grab bags. And I don't know why, but I have grown out of the obsession of everything having to have a crossbody option. If I want a crossbody bag, I've got loads of bags I can use crossbody. It doesn't bother me that this will not go crossbody. And because it's a bit bigger than this size, it looks in proportion on me, either in the crook of my arm, their handle drops are always generous, or just my hand. And sometimes it's the most carefree. The one thing that no one ever says about crossbody bags, or the downside of them, people talk about where they hit and where they sit and how if they flatter you or not. But nobody ever talks about the fact that crossbody isn't always comfortable. Never mind if it's a heavy or larger bag. Obviously, we've all gone through airports with crossbody bags that don't look that great because we just have our hands full. We're holding a kid's hand and wheeling a suitcase. So you might put quite a large bag on crossbody and it might, God, there's a lot in it for the flight and it digs a bit. But even small evening bags and stuff, crossbody, sometimes they pull on the neckline of your clothing. They can sort of pull your clothing so that your clothing doesn't sit as nicely. I was wearing a really delicate waist tie silk dress out to dinner in the summer, and I wore a crossbody bag, and it was like almost pulling the dress to sort of swivel around my waist, the weight of it rubbing on that delicate material. So sometimes I like just holding a clutch or holding a grab bag, and that's pretty new for me, so I thought I would just point that out. So as I said, this is the small. It's in the colour Cypress. The bag was £85 here in the UK. It's about the same in euros. and the silk scarf was about 70 or 60 pounds. It's beautiful. It's very creased now, so I'm not going to show you, but it's got all of these autumnal colors and an elephant in flowers on it. If it was ironed and box fresh, I would unravel it and show you, but you will see that on another occasion. But I have had so many comments on this, and obviously when you show something on your Instagram stories, it's nice for people. If it's over £1,000, not many people are going to be like, oh, I fancy that, I'm going to buy it. Because this is cheaper, still not high street super cheap. They're beautifully made, by the way, and I am a massive Longchamp fan. There are a lot of people in the luxury community, when I see them bash Longchamp, I realise they're not the person for me, that they've got really weird snotty values about what is and what isn't stylish or they perceive to be luxurious. If you really think Longchamp is like naff and cheap and not a proper brand, then it makes me go right off you, because I think it's absolute classic French style at a great price. And I love the leather bags too, but and obviously they're more of an investment price, but I think that you get amazing quality for whatever price point you spend. They last really well. So yeah, a lot of people have messaged me to say that after seeing it on my stories, they bought this exact same bag. So for those who did, good shout and enjoy. What came next? Okay, what came next was a men's cologne. I had this years ago. It's by Creed and it's their Green Irish Tweed, which is a men's fragrance. It's not unisex, but there's something so delicious about this scent. It's a very clean, mossy green, soapy. It is masculine, but when I wear it, I'm guaranteed to get people asking me what I'm wearing and that I smell amazing. And I'm not normally one to want to buy masculine or men's fragrances. It's just this one, but I didn't have it for years, because what I had was a really small, like a toilette one. So it was in a clear glass bottle and it was just 30 mils. And that was pricey enough, and I literally used it up. And so now for the 50 ml size, it's £185. But I smelled it in a store about a month ago for the first time in about 4 years. And again, I'm fussy with fragrance. I have to love it to buy it. And I just thought, oh, I want that back in my collection. So this is a really nice, clean, fresh, delicious scent. My husband doesn't get it. He's like, you smell of aftershave. What on earth are you doing? So if I was going on a date night or a day trip with him, I probably wouldn't wear it. But for my own preference, for my own life, I love Green Irish Tweed. Okay, and the last two, we'll work up to it. So the first one is a Mulberry SLG. I got 2 Mulberry things recently. One was a gift. I went to like an event thing, and this is my mini zip Bayswater. This is the bag that I'm really excited to get back out every autumn, because I don't wear this kind of burgundy colour in summer. I know that you can. People have said to me, oh, it goes great with navy and white or whatever, but I have other bags. I just don't use it until like the end of September. But I got this like letter charm in a bee in this oxblood colour with mustard, and it just makes this quite grown up sort of style of bag look really playful and fun, and it completely matches. So got this bee. And then the other day, if you remember, when was this, last summer, when I wanted a second wok and I didn't want to pay Chanel prices for a second wok, I looked at the Dali from Mulberry and I bought it in this colour, and I actually sent it back and got solid grey, which is one of my favourite ever Mulberry colours, and that is just a great neutral, which isn't too summery or like some neutrals are. It was just it's a really nice kind of putty colour. But I really liked that hot pink. I just didn't like it in the wok, because the particular one, or Dali, that I got, it was more like, is it Poupre? There's a kind of purpley pink that Hermes does, and it had a lot of blue or purple tones to it. But I've realised that different lots, different batches vary. Anyway, I saw this in the cabinet in the Mulberry store, and I just loved the... you know, they always vary. It's the heavy grain, but I just loved this particular piece, and I thought I'd get something small And I have bought this before and returned it because the one I bought from the Mulberry website had blobs of the glazing that had gone onto the leather, really wonky stitching, and it was so matte that someone had already, before it had even been sold, there was colour transfer just from the packaging and dirty marks. So this one I'm going to use some leather conditioner to pre-treat it because it is the very heavy grain, and that can be quite matte and pick up. Like if you put it into the pocket of black trousers, you could get marks on it. So I'm going to protect it. But this is a really small, I wish I'd got the other one out to show you. I'll do a Mulberry catch up with you. I have a wallet that looks similar to this, but it's like a medium sized, like French purse size. And on the whole, I don't reach for a wallet that big. I don't need a wallet that big. Nobody does these days with all Apple Pay and everything. So I just love these dinky little SLGs with the postman lock, which is one of my favorite features about Mulberry. So this one has a little zip section for coins on the back. And when you open it, and I've never had a wallet like this, I tend to avoid them. I like wallets where you open the flap and then it stays sort of like this and you just look in. This is a tri or bifold. I don't get it like that. So the features of this are that it's really small, but it has a full size bills section, which I know is really important to a lot of people. You don't have to screw up your money. I don't really like folding money either because you can't really tell what you've got. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 card slots. It's got lovely smooth leather on the inside. 2 returns, so back here, back here. So it's just got loads of storage space, and yet it is really quite tiny, like the size of my Chanel kind of little card holders and stuff like that. And also this section on the back, one side is gusseted. Unless you had this wallet stuffed. If you have a wallet overstuffed, the section on the back doesn't have a lot of play, but I don't overstuff my wallet. So that section has like a fabric inside for the coins, and you can really see, and it opens up. So I just thought it was perfect and a way to enjoy that color. Whereas I actually went and tried on the tiny mini Bayswater in this color the other day, and I just realized I don't need a hot pink bag. It's like, for me, I tend to go more classic with bags and play with color with my SLG. So I'm really happy to add this to my collection. I haven't even taken the plastic off, and I'm going to pack it after this video with my stuff. Last but not least, and this is what everybody who knows me from Instagram has been waiting to see, here actually is my Alma BB in Epi Leather in the Noir colorway. My gosh, what a saga. And I'm not even going to start because we will be here in an hour and a half. I am about to film straight after this video. Yes, I have time just about my Louis Vuitton story time where I'm going to explain. But I'm not going to go into too much detail because that's not actually useful to you. I'm going to try to focus on the things that would help someone who's looking for this bag in the future, or for anything from Louis Vuitton and they want help from customer services or whatever. So yeah, I have sold about flipping 6 months ago now, I think, my Damier Ebene, one of these, because I realized that for me, like George Han, for me, monogram and Damier being canvas are intrinsically casual. I love those prints, but to me, I don't really want a dressy bag in a patterned print. And my Damier Ebene Alma was the sort of bag I would take to the movies or take to meet a girlfriend for drinks or dinner. And often, especially in the summer, you could probably see, oh, they're hanging up there, I wear loads of floral dresses and patterned blouses, and then I'd have this checkered small bag and it would just look really fussy. I have an Ebene Neverfull MM, I have an Ebene Speedy 30. I may, now that I sold the Ebene Alma BB, I'll probably end up with a Speedy 25 again, because to me the 25 and the 30 are 2 different things. That's a story for another time. I don't even know if I'll ever have the guts to buy a Louis Vuitton bag again, because this was literally an ordeal. But anyway, I wanted to get this because I loved the history and everything with the Alma BB. If you're a fan of the house, it's like one of the essentials, I think, like along with Speedies and other styles that are iconic. But I realised that on such a small bag, it to me looked a bit busy in a pattern, and I just wanted a plain one. And I thought that the black was just so stylish. I nearly got the navy, but I have a navy puzzle bag. Excuse me. And the main draw as well is that I've always fancied having a Louis Vuitton bag with silver hardware. I think it looks very different. And I think also, I've talked a lot about quiet luxury. I like quiet luxury. I also like logoed stuff, so don't come for me. but I just like the idea that I can use this as a little evening bag or to go to something a bit smarter. And if you don't know Louis Vuitton, you're not going to know this is Louis Vuitton, because the only LV is very shallow embossed there, and the epi leather and the silver hardware. People aren't expecting to see a Louis Vuitton bag that doesn't have gold toned or brass hardware. So it's a bit of an odd experience, because this is the 4th time that I have been sent an Alma BB, and 4th time's a charm. I really thought, well, I knew if this one wasn't okay, I would have just not purchased it again or anything from Louis Vuitton ever again. So it came through in the end, but it was a flipping ordeal, but I'll share that in the next video. So those are my kind of luxury purchases. It's quite a lot. I've really slowed down, but it looks like a lot for me anyway over the last few months. I mean, this was quite a big, expensive investment, and it was a weird one in that I was replacing something that was lost. So my husband wasn't necessarily that excited about having to shell out for another watch, but there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this. It was long and chatty, but I haven't seen you for ages, so I thought you wouldn't mind if I took my time. And I hope to see you join me again for the next one, which will be the Louis Vuitton story time. I also have Mulberry story time about my Dali, and just in general where we can get great service, great quality, without necessarily these huge prices that some of the brands charge. And they seem to be offering less quality and less service and higher prices, and yet there are brands. So I might do a thing about my favorite brands that I feel do still really offer great value, and I do put Mulberry up there along with others like Longchamp, Aspinall, you know, so Kate Spade. So I will do something around that. And then I have this makeup bag that is stuffed full of all the makeup I've bought since like May or June, to give you first impressions. I've got Bourjois back in the UK. I bought a full set of Bourjois like face products to retry to see if I loved it as much as I remember. And spoiler alert, I do. It's amazing long wear makeup. I bought a load of Jones Road products to try, because people kept messaging me saying, are you going to try Jones Road? Are you going to try Jones Road? Please try Jones Road. So I ordered 2 orders from them, and I'm going to talk about ordering from their site, because obviously it all comes from the US, and how easy that is, and if I like the ethos and the products, how I'm getting on with them. And then just a collective haul of all the other makeup bits I've bought in the last few months, and I've tried everything now, so I can give you like mini review. So if you're interested in any of that, listen, I am very sporadic in that when my kids are not in school, I just don't have any alone time hardly ever to do this sort of thing. But I really missed it, and I've really been struggling in the last couple of weeks. Those of you that follow me on Instagram will know I just really, not a mental health crisis, that would be over egging it, but like a bit depressed, a bit anxious again. And doing things like this for me actually helps to dig me out of a hole. So I don't really want any trolls coming for me saying, oh, I saw you upset on Instagram, but you're filming YouTube. I mean, like, you're all right one minute and not all right the next minute. That is how these things go. So thank you for watching, and I'm back, and I am going to be really consistent in September when the kids go back to school and one goes off to uni. Yeah, mixed feelings about that, but I know, you know, this is the way life goes. I thought I would do a series called Self-Tember, which is going to be like a mini, not daily necessarily, but a series of videos over September, just sharing what I do to make myself feel better physically, emotionally, mentally, how, you know, just my well-being, and that you might get tips and things and you might enjoy to see that. So it will be fitness, nutrition, supplements, what I find works, what doesn't work, just lots of things like that. I'm hoping, I haven't even asked her yet, I'm hoping that my trainer will maybe join me for a couple of things. I'm really hoping she will. She's amazing. And yeah, book recommendations, all the things that give me, from the little things like flower arranging up to the big things like learning to communicate with your partner. We're going to talk about it all. Anyway, this is way too long. I will see you in the next one. I love you all. Take care.